The Fat Frog, created and narrated by myself. It's good that Mum allowed you to come with us, Figgy said to Freddy. Yes, it's more fun with the three of us, replied Floppy.
I'm learning so much from you guys,
said Freddy. While they were hopping and jumping close to the pond, they heard a loud, deep croak. Whoa! What was that noise? asked Freddy. I don't know. Let's go and investigate, replied Figgy. Just then, there was a big splash in the pond. Hello, sorry if I frightened you. My name is Fog. Hi, Fog. Yes, you did croak very loud. My name is Figgy. This is my friend Floppy and my brother Freddy. Are you okay, Fog? I hope you are not sick, asked Floppy. I'm okay. I just have a bit of tummy trouble. I'm a little unhappy, replied Fog. I'm sorry to hear that. Jump out of the pond and we can all play. Maybe that will make you happy, said Figgy. Fog tried to jump out, but ended up just crawling out. I can't jump, said Fog.
You can't jump. My brother and Floppy taught me how to jump. Maybe they can help you,
said Freddy. Can you try and jump so that we can see what the problem is? asked Figgy. Fog tried and tried again, but he wasn't able to jump. There, you see, it's impossible for me, said Fog. Maybe I know the problem, said Floppy. Really? asked Fog. Yes, you are too too big, replied Floppy. Well, yes, I suppose I am quite big, replied Fog. Okay, let's see what we can do for you, said Figgy. Are you really going to help me? You are kind, asked Fog. Yes, we will help you, but you must follow my rules. You just need to get fitter, replied Figgy. And thinner, said Floppy. Let's begin with the exercise you need to do. 10 push-ups and swim across the pond every hour. Do you agree? asked Figgy. Yes, of course, I do want to succeed, replied Fog. What have you been eating to make you so big? asked Floppy. Just the usual things, slugs, snails and worms, replied Fog. What about flies? Don't you eat flies? asked Floppy. Well, no, because I can't jump to catch them. And they are too fast, replied Fog. I believe we can solve your problem easily. Maybe it will take 10 days, said Figgy.
I can catch flies for him,
said Freddy. That's great. Thank you, brother. So here's our plan. You follow the exercise rules and only eat flies, which Freddy will catch. No slugs, snails or worms, you eat flies. And maybe some of the vegetation, said Figgy. And I will train you, said Floppy. So Fog started to eat only flies and did his push-ups, up, down, 1, 2, 3, and he swam across the pond every hour. For the next 5 days, things were looking good. Swim faster, come on, Fog, Floppy shouted. Up, down, you're doing well, Floppy said to Fog. You're looking fitter now. Can you jump yet? Asked Figgy. Yes, I can jump a little, as I'm not so heavy now, replied Fogg. It's because you're not so big. Anyway, I think you will be good in 5 more days, said Floppy. Fogg followed the rules and only ate flies for the next 5 days. Okay, today is your last day. Let's see how much you have improved. Try jumping, Fogg, said Figgy. Okay, I will try my best, replied Fogg. Fogg tried to jump, and to his surprise... I can jump, Fogg said excitedly. I can jump really high.
I'm so happy for you,
said Freddy. I'm so glad that it worked. All down to you, Floppy. It was all your idea, said Figgy.
Well done, Floppy, and Fogg, of course,
said Freddy. Thank you, guys. I'm so thankful to you all. At last, I'm a proper frog again, said Fogg. Yes, you are. So stick to eating flies from now on. So you don't get heavy again, said Floppy. They all laughed and laughed. That's the end of this learning story. Fogg got too big because he ate too many things that wasn't good for him. Do you eat anything that would make you big? Aha! Bye-bye! The Frog with Two Heads. Created and narrated by myself. It's a great day for playing, isn't it? Asked Figgy.
Yes, I'm loving being with you both,
replied Freddy. And we're happy that you came with us, replied Floppy. Just then, there was a big splash in the pond. Hello, be careful, there are lots of snakes here. Figgy, Floppy and Freddy turned around to see who had spoken. Oh, hi, thanks for the warning, you two, said Figgy. We are not really two. Although we do have separate names, I'm Flynn and this is Finley. Whoa, you have 2 heads! I've never seen a frog with 2 heads before, said Floppy. Me neither, how unusual, said Figgy. Well, at least you will never be lonely, ha ha ha, said Floppy. Floppy, replied Figgy. Yes, he's right, but we do argue a lot, said Flynn.
That's because you always want to be the boss,
replied Finley. They say 2 heads are better than 1. But I can see it's not always good news, said Figgy.
I have a question,
said Freddy.
Who decides whether you go left or right?
Well, that is one of our problems, said Flynn. We never agree on lots of things, especially food. Wow, it sounds too complicated for me, said Floppy.
Food is our main problem, because of course, we only have one body. Whatever Flynn eats affects me, and whatever I eat affects him,
said Finley. And deciding where to go and what to do is also a big problem, said Flynn. I think the one with the biggest head should win, said Floppy. What? Floppy, that's really not funny, said Figgy.
Ha ha ha, Floppy, you are crazy,
replied Freddy. Okay, maybe we are able to solve some of your problems, said Figgy. Oh, I do hope that you can, replied Flynn.
Yes, we would be ever so grateful,
said Finley. That's a good start. You managed to both agree. Well, you are brothers, said Floppy. So you should try to get on with each other. Let's start with where to go and what to do. I think the answer is compromise, said Figgy. Yes, communicate, Floppy chipped in. First positive thing you have said, Floppy, replied Figgy. Okay, listen carefully, Flynn and Finley. You need to share the decision making on a daily basis. Maybe you could make a chart or a rota. For an example, Flynn could decide where to go and what to do on Monday. Then Finley could do the same on Tuesday, and so on, said Figgy. Finley, why didn't we think of that? Said Flynn.
Yes, we should have. Thank you, Figgy.
Now food, said Figgy, that's a bit more difficult. Maybe you should agree on all the different foods that you both like to eat and doesn't affect you. Then you can just eat those foods, said Figgy. So I think what you mean, Figgy, is if they both like flies and they don't affect them, then that's one food that they can both agree on, said Floppy. That's exactly right, Floppy. I'm sure they can agree on the foods they both like and doesn't affect them, replied Figgy. Thank you, guys. At last my brother and I can agree. We can have days without arguing, said Flynn. So it's time for you to decide who chooses first where you will go, said Figgy. I think they can decide by themselves, said Floppy. As you said, Figgy, 2 heads are better than one. They all laughed and laughed. That's the end of this learning story. I hope you enjoyed meeting the brothers. All they needed to do was to talk to each other and their problems would have been solved. If you have a brother or a sister, try not to fight. Just talk to each other and find a way to solve your problem. Bye-bye! Adventures of Figgy and Floppy, a very, very hungry caterpillar. It was a nice day in Frogland, and the boys were enjoying playing and exploring in the woodlands.
So, where are we going today?
Asked Freddy. We're in search for juicy worms today, replied Figgy.
Wow, that sounds great. How do they taste?
Asked Freddy. Like worms, of course, ha ha ha, replied Floppy. Hard to describe, just wait and see, replied Figgy. Just keep a lookout for wriggling long things, said Floppy.
I can see one already,
replied Freddy. Where? Asked Floppy.
on the plant here,
replied Freddy.
I'm not a worm, thank you. I'm a caterpillar. My name is Flex.
Hi Flex, my brother doesn't know anything about caterpillars yet, said Figgy.
Well, I understand.
Replied Flex.
I used to be young myself. And I knew nothing also. In fact, I still only know one thing.
What's that? Asked Floppy.
I just know I must eat and eat all day long.
Replied Flex. We frogs are like that also, said Figgy. We also love to eat. In fact, we are looking for worms right now.
When I was born, I was just an egg.
Said Flex.
But then I came out and turned into a larva. A caterpillar, as you know it. And all I do all day is...
We know, said Floppy, you eat and eat.
Yes, and you are interrupting me.
Replied Flex. Okay, we're sorry about that, said Figgy. We will leave you in peace now. Yes, let's go and find those juicy worms. I'm feeling hungry now. Bye, Flex, said Floppy. Off they went and eventually found lots of juicy worms.
I like these worms.
Said Freddy.
They're very wriggly.
They're fun to eat because they don't stop wriggling, even as you're eating them, said Floppy. Well, I'm really full, said Figgy. I wonder if Flex is still eating. Let's go back and past the bush where he was, said Floppy. They got back to the bush, but Flex is nowhere to be found.
Oh, he's gone. I hope he's alright,
said Freddy. Maybe we will see him again next time we pass this way, said Figgy.
I wonder if we will see Flex again,
said Freddy. Maybe, said Figgy. We will pass the bush he was on last time. No sign of him here, said Floppy.
What's that? Flying above the bush?
Asked Freddy. I think they are called butterflies, replied Floppy. Yes, that's correct. They're beautiful creatures, said Figgy.
Hey, it's me, Flex. I changed from being a caterpillar. And by the way, I did see you all after you finished eating your worms, but I couldn't talk to you because I was in my pooper sack, stuck under a leaf.
You look fantastic now,
said Freddy.
Thank you. Yes, I do look quite stunning.
said Flex. So what now? Do you still need to eat and eat? asked Floppy.
No more eating. I need to find a lady butterfly now,
said Flex.
so that we can make eggs and they will also grow into butterflies.
Well, I hope you find someone as nice as you, and you lay beautiful eggs, said Floppy.
Huh? I don't think you would call eggs beautiful,
said Flex.
Floppy, you are really crazy,
said Freddy. They all laughed. That's the end of this learning story. I hope you enjoyed meeting Flex. It was nice to learn how caterpillars grow into beautiful butterflies. So even something that is quite plain, like an egg, can grow into something beautiful, just like Flex did. See you again soon. Bye-bye. It was a hot summer's day and the frogs were playing. They were hopping from lily pad to lily pad, having a great time. I love summer, lots to do and lots to eat, said Floppy. Me too, it's a lazy time for us frogs, replied Figgy.
Well, it's my first summer and I'm certainly enjoying it,
said Freddy. I can see a mouse, said Floppy. Hello, Mr. Mouse. How are you today? asked Figgy. Oh, I'm okay. My name is Felipe,
Why do you look so sad?
asked Freddy. Well, you see, I have a bit of a problem, said Felipe. Maybe we could help you, said Figgy. I doubt it, replied Felipe. I have had this problem a long time. So, are you going to tell us what your problem is? asked Floppy. Huh? Yes, but be patient, sir, replied Felipe. My problem is I keep changing colour. Sometimes I'm brown, other times I'm grey, and I also change into coffee and cream colour, said Felipe. Wow, you sound delicious, ha ha ha, said Floppy. It's really not funny, even my own family doesn't know me sometimes, replied Felipe. I see your problem, said Figgy. The good news is that I've seen this before. Really? replied Felipe. So, can I be cured? Maybe, replied Figgy, but I need to observe you for a few days. After that, I will know for sure if you can be cured. Over the next few days, Figgy observed Felipe to try and solve his problem. During this time, Felipe changed colour many times. Okay guys, I think I know how to solve Felipe's problem. Felipe, I'm not 100% sure, so we need to test things, said Figgy. I'm okay with that. We can try anything. Especially if it's going to help me, replied Felipe. So, what are you eating now, Felipe? Asked Figgy. Eating? I'm eating wheat at the moment, said Felipe. Okay, come here and eat the millipede. Okay. Oh my god, I'm changing colour to chocolate, said Felipe. Okay, now eat the wheat again. So now you're cream again. Can you eat the beetle now? Now you're grey colour, said Figgy. Oh wow, yes I am. So now eat the worm. And now you're changing to coffee colour. There, now you're totally coffee colour, said Figgy.
I think I understand,
Said Freddy.
I think he changes colour when he eats food.
Well, that's almost right. He changes to brown if he eats millipedes, and grey if he eats beetles, cream if he eats wheat, and coffee if he eats worms. Wow, thank you, Figgy, so I can control my colour by eating different foods, said Felipe. That's right, replied Figgy. So if you want to be coffee colour, eat worms. So it's not a problem after all, it's a good thing, said Felipe. You are so clever, Figgy, said Floppy. I wouldn't have thought of that. Thank you, Floppy. You are right, I am clever really. Okay, so I have a request, Felipe. Can you eat more millipedes? Then you will be chocolate colour. And I love chocolate, said Floppy. Here, Felipe, eat it, please, eat it, eat it.
You are crazy, Floppy,
Said Freddy. They all laughed and laughed. That's the end of this story. I hope you like meeting Felipe. The rainbow mouse was a little unusual, wasn't he? I think we better not eat too many sweets, or we might change into rainbow people. Bye-bye! Adventures of Figgy and Floppy, the Scaredy Cat, created and narrated by myself. So today we are going to learn about creatures that live in the wild, Figgy said to Freddy.
Cool, I'm enjoying my new adventures with you guys,
Replied Freddy. On they went further into the bushes. Then they heard a rustling. What do we have here? Asked Figgy. Oh no, it's a cat. Run, Freddy. Cats eat us, frogs, said Floppy. No, don't run. It's only a kitten, said Figgy. Just then, the kitten noticed the frogs and jumps back in fear.
Whoa! You guys really scared me. I'm Felix.
You frightened us also. I know you could eat us, replied Floppy.
I won't eat you. I only eat at night or early morning. I'm usually asleep at this time,
replied Felix. That's right. Cats are lazy during the day. And they mostly eat mice, rats and birds, said Figgy. Well, I'm glad that I'm not one of those creatures, said Floppy.
Hello, Felix. I'm Freddy, and these two are Figgy, my brother, and Floppy, our friend.
Oh yes, hello Felix, said Floppy. So you really won't eat us?
No, don't worry. I'm only a kitten. It will take between 1 to 2 years for me to be fully grown.
So, if you was fully grown, you might have eaten us, asked Floppy.
Well, yes, especially if I was really hungry.
Replied Felix. Told you, Freddy? I told you. It's better to run. If you see a cat, said Floppy. Okay, Floppy, don't alarm Freddy. Felix isn't a danger, replied Figgy. Do you ever have contact with humans? I hear that lots of humans have pet cats, asked Figgy.
No, we're feral cats because we live in the wild. It's unlikely that we could be tamed pets,
replied Felix. Sometimes frogs are kept as pets. And they get really well fed, said Floppy. Yes, but they don't really have any freedom. I'm happy that I'm not someone's pet, replied Figgy.
Well, guys, it's been nice meeting you all. Please be careful, as there are many adult cats, especially around this area,
said Felix. We will be careful. Thank you for the warning, replied Figgy. So, are you going to have a cat nap now? Asked Floppy. They all laughed and laughed. That's the end of this learning story. I hope you enjoyed meeting Felix and learning about wild cats. If you have a pet cat at home, please look after him very well, so that he won't decide to be a wild feral cat. Meow, bye. Adventures of Figgy and Floppy, a very unhappy owl. Come guys, there will be lots to eat near the pond, said Figgy.
We're right behind you, brother,
said Freddy. You were right, Figgy. Look at all the insects, said Floppy. Tweet-twoo, tweet-twoo.
Whoa, what's that noise, brother?
Freddy asked Figgy. It's a to-woo, replied Floppy. Haha, that's not its correct name, said Figgy. Look up at the trees, see if you can find it, said Figgy. Tweet-twoo. It's coming from that tree, said Floppy.
Yes, you are right. I can see it,
replied Freddy. Just as I expected, it's an adult owl, replied Figgy. The owl noticed the frogs and spoke in a very sad voice. Hello guys, what are you doing here? My name is Flo. Hello Flo, we're doing the same as you. Well, I think so, replied Figgy.
We're all here to eat lots of insects,
said Freddy. Oh, I see. I'm not really hungry tonight, replied Flo. Tweet-twoo. Twoo? What does that sound mean? Asked Floppy. I don't really know. That's my call, replied Flo. Is there anything we can do to help? Asked Figgy. It's okay, thank you, Figgy. I'm just lonely. And it makes me unhappy, replied Flo. When I hatched from my egg, I was a baby owlet, of course, and my parents looked after me. But after 1 year, I was already an adult. And I started to live on my own. So now, I just eat and sleep. That's my life now, Flo explained. Tweet-twoo. I see. Well, I don't think we can help you then, replied Figgy. Well, it's been nice to have you as company, said Flo. Just then, another adult owl appeared. And he landed close to Flo on the branch. Hello, everyone. My name is Fergus. Hello, Fergus. We're just talking to Flo. We're trying to make her feel happy, replied Floppy. That's nice of you all, said Fergus. However, I think I might be able to help Flo from now on. Really? Asked Flo. Are you going to keep me company? Yes, I am. I've been searching for a nice lady owl. And now I have found you, said Fergus. Thank you, guys. I think you brought me luck, said Flo. That's great news, said Floppy. So now you can both twit to woo together. They all laughed and laughed. That's the end of this learning story. Flo wasn't really unhappy. She was just lonely because she had no one to talk to. If you ever feel unhappy, like Flo, just talk with your mum or dad, and I'm sure they will do their best to make you happy again. Twit woo! I mean, bye!